Hi, it's Seamus again, and it's Sunday. I'm bored, so I'm going to make a vlog. The reason that I thought about making videos was because I know for a fact that when I'm like 30, I will want something to look back on, and I think vlogs are such a cool way to document yourself and make a little record of your memories and stuff. And I know that I will really regret it if I don't have sort of any evidence of how great life is at the minute, and it would be cool to share with you guys too, so that's another reason. So much has happened in the last year. Where do I even begin? I turned 19, so my youth is pretty much over, but I still feel like a big child inside, which is good. I don't think I'll ever lose that. It's just a number. I don't really care. We didn't have a party. We didn't have any big celebrations. It was just kind of a, oh, I'm 19. I don't feel any different. Here in the UK, you can actually learn to drive when you turn 17, which is really good. This year, I've actually done quite a few lessons, like way above the average, probably about 20. Um, it's a bit shameful. But on the plus side, I passed my practical driving test and my theory test on the first attempt, which I've heard it is very hard to do that, and I only got 3 minor faults on my practical test, which I was so happy with. And now I'm insured on my dad's car, and the insurance is actually very inexpensive. We're all really shocked. But on the plus side, I can drive places, and it's great. It's like I can go to the cinema whenever I want. It's brilliant. I didn't think I'd be able to learn to drive. Just something inside me kept saying, you're not going to be coordinated enough to do this, or just stick with riding a bike. But I did it. A lot of pocket money later, I did it. One of the biggest things that I did in my life this year was the decision to turn vegetarian. It wasn't an easy decision. Well, actually, it was an easy decision. It wasn't an easy path to take. It was the easiest decision I've ever made. I just decided that I am an animal lover. I love dogs, cats, horses, everything. And to eat cows and sheep and pigs, it doesn't make sense to me. We don't need animals to survive. I don't see, canine teeth. I just. The thing that I find hard to deal with being a vegetarian, I've been a vegetarian for a year. I've had plenty of mishaps. I mean, I accidentally put a jar of smoky bacon flavoured pasta sauce into my pasta for lunch one day, which resulted in tiny little cubes of bacon, which wasn't quite nice. And I was like, oh, is this bacon or is it vegetables? Should I eat it? Should I not? But I knew right away the smell of bacon was too evident. The fact of the matter is that people do try and put you down. They think that you're taking the moral high ground if you are a vegetarian, which isn't the case at all. It's a personal choice whether you eat meat or whether you don't. It's a personal choice. I am absolutely fine with people who eat meat. The rest of my family eat meat. They think I'm crackers for wanting to be vegetarian, but it's just a personal choice of mine, and I'm really happy that I did that choice because it's it's made me feel a lot more compassionate. Except I do eat dairy, which I want to cut out someday. And you have to be really careful with sweets because a lot of sweets have gelatin in them, and no one prepared me for that. Actually, turning vegetarian influenced me in my art projects. I didn't think that I could do a project that related so closely to my personal life, um, but I ended up doing a project called Farm to Fridge, which was paintings and sculptures based on animals and meat industry and cruel kind of things. It was really different from anything anyone else in the class had to offer, and it was definitely a really good decision. I got a distinction, which is the highest mark you can get, and I also got 2 unconditional offers for university, which is unbelievable to me because last year I got declined from my first choice, which is a media production course in England, and this year, because of the foundation course, I actually got in with an unconditional offer, and that shocked me because it just shows that if you take a year out and you put all your efforts into a foundation and you have a goal, then you can do it. So turning vegetarian was probably the second best decision I made. As I've mentioned, I did the foundation year. The first best decision that I made this year was definitely taking a gap year. At my local college, I did a foundation degree in art. Sorry, I'm really tired. I was up to 4 a.m. last night at work. The foundation degree was unreal. It was deadly. Like, I met some class people. Like, the thing about the foundation degree is that you can pretty much try anything you want, whether it's paint, ceramics, fashion design. Like, I even had a go at textiles, which I never thought I'd have any interest in, but I ended up doing it anyway. Like, if you put your 100% of your energy into what you're doing, you can do some really cool things, especially if you're like an art student. I would really recommend doing a foundation course. Um, I really recommend doing it at your local sixth form, because in universities, if you go to a university to do it, you have to pay, what is it, £9,000? I don't even know, but it seems pretty silly that people do it in universities, like when you can do it on your doorstep for free. I have 2 full portfolios of work, which hopefully in a future video I'll show you. And I got a distinction, which I didn't think that was possible after coming from A levels, you know, because if you do A level art and then you go into a foundation course, there's such a different style. Like, it's far looser in the foundation course. They really encourage you to experiment, which is great if you're up for it. But coming from A level art, where you have to draw everything perfectly, and it's like, this line has to be perfect, that line has to be perfect, it's a big step, and I didn't think that I could do it, but I did. One of the greatest things to happen to me out of the foundation course was that we got to go on a class trip to London in January, and it was really cold. It was terribly snowy and freezing and busy and everything, but it was like the best 3 days ever.
We're just going to Cape Modern. We're on the London embankment, sucking up these trains to get here. I'm wearing my new shoes, got my kicks on, getting my smooth on, having a good time, just being me, loving every minute, and we're just having a crack with.
We got to go around all the galleries you could imagine. We got to go to the Tate Modern, which was really bizarre. It was a huge building. It used to be some kind of cotton factory or something, so it's this massive big factory in the middle of London, like beside the Thames. Incredible building, full of really wacky, weird art and some beautiful paint. Our hostel that we stayed in was called The Clink. It was such a cool wee place. It had a nightclub underground. Oh, it was just brilliant. It was full of people from all different nationalities, all different walks of life, and it was just brilliant. We had the best fun.
Oh my god.
Around saying that to everyone, so you can imagine the looks that I was getting. They'd know that I was a tourist. The personal high point for me of this year was our end of year exhibition, which took place in a gallery quite close to the college that I done my foundation course in, and everyone in the class got to put up a few pieces of their work on the walls, and we all invited our family and friends, and there was like wine and music and food, and it was just the best atmosphere ever because everyone was, you know, just talking. It was just such a high point, and I can't really explain the feeling. It's kind of like pride, adrenaline, and nerves. It's just the best cocktail of emotions ever. I got to say a speech, which was a very big honour. I won an award, actually called the Most Innovative Award, because I done some really weird stuff to do with meat and sculptures, and it was pretty different. Like, it was, even for me, and I love weird stuff, but even for me it was pretty out there, and it shocked a lot of people, and I was like, oh my god, that's disgusting. can honestly say that I'm so proud that I did it, because it's art that means something to me and it has a message and a moral, and it creates a reaction, and that's really what I aim to do with art. As I am pretty much done for the summer, I have been watching a lot of television, and I have to say that I have a new favourite TV show, and you're probably going to guess this, like, before I even say it. Yeah, it's Game of Thrones. From season 1, I was just swept into the storyline. My favourite characters, Daenerys and Tyrion and Arya. Daenerys is just badass. She's the best female character in any TV show I think I've watched. It actually usurped my favourite TV show, which was Twin Peaks, up until I watched Game of Thrones. So I really want to get into more watching like TV series and stuff. I used to love Walking Dead, but I actually haven't watched it since season 1, so I need to catch up on that. And also really want to read the books of Game of Thrones. I do watch Hollyoaks. I mean, there's like a death every week in the show. There's like been 2 shootings. Someone's been pushed out through a window on their wedding day. What is it with soaps and wedding days? Like, no wedding day can go smoothly in soaps. It's brilliant. I don't watch EastEnders, so I don't know. It's far too miserable. It's just Kat and Alfie fighting in the pub all of the time. My guilty pleasure on TV at the minute has to be
Honey Boo Boo Child.
Honey Boo Boo is a legend. That forklift foot is just so sexy.
Mom says if you fart 15 to 20 times a day, you lose weight. I gotta fart.
Yeah, it's not very summery here. Not at all. I mean, it's quite warm, but it's really windy and wet. But we have a trampoline, like a massive trampoline, so I'm going to go on that a lot more. I've been running a lot more, which is quite good. Like, I'm not usually into my exercise, but I do like to get out running. I ran a 10k on Friday, which has left me quite in pain, so I haven't been running since, but it felt good. It felt really good. So this is Seamus signing off. It was great talking to you, and yeah.